Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, it's Wako. Today we are diving into the Underworld once again with Hades 2, which just entered early access on Steam. As a huge fan of the original game, I've been eagerly anticipating this sequel, and after spending some time with it, I got a lot to share. So let's jump right in. Now, let's just go into the story and setting. In Hades 2, players take on the role of Melinoe, the sister of the original protagonist, Zagreus. Set in the same vibrant and beautifully crafted world as the previous game, this time the game follows Melinoe on a quest for revenge against those who have wronged her family. Guided by the goddess Hecate, players navigate through the Crossroads, a central hub area, as they uncover the mysteries that happen during the game. One thing I want to mention though is that Amelia Tyler plays Hecate, and she's one of the main characters of this story. This time she's guiding you through the game, and she's doing an amazing job so far. And for those who doesn't know who she is, she plays as the narrator in Baldur's Gate 3. And here you have a small preview of how she sounds like.
Time forced our hand, Melinoe. Nary a soul expected you to slay our enemy last night on a new moon, no less. But
I lack such forgiveness for my failure, Headmistress Hecate. The Titan yet lives, and Olympus yet burns, while I'm back where I started. What is it I accomplished?
Now, the gameplay. If you're familiar with the first Hades, you'll feel right at home here. You're playing through the game in a similar manner. And as you progress, you unlock more and more things. More story elements happen, and the core gameplay loop remains largely unchanged, with players venturing through generated levels, battling enemies, and upgrading their abilities along the way. However, Hades 2 introduces some new mechanics, such as the use of mana for casting spells and charge up special abilities. These additions add a layer of strategic depth to combat, requiring players to manage their resources carefully. Visually, Hades 2 is a thing to behold. The art style, reminiscent of Greek mythology, is brought to life with stunning detail and vibrant colors, from the eerie depths of the underworld to the majestic heights of Mount Olympus. Each environment is richly rendered and immersive, coupled with an exceptional soundtrack, top-notch voice acting. The game truly excels in its presentation. And this is a small clip showcasing how the music sounds like. Graphically, it feels like the game is even sharper and higher res than the first iteration of the franchise. The art of the first game was fantastic, but visually, it feels like there is even higher resolution happening here. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this point though. It just feels that way to me. Like the game has more depth, it feels like when you are looking at it, it has the same art style from the first game, which is absolutely phenomenal, a huge part of what made Hades Hades. But it just feels like they've improved upon the quality of it, and I really dig the look it has right now. Music plays a huge part in Hades as well, as voice acting. Both of those so far have been extremely top-notch. The music is kind of like a slight variant of the theme from the first game in places. And the voice acting for the gods and characters of the game is brilliant.
You look like you can break some hearts even without my aid. Oh, your brother would be so proud, knowing you're fighting for your kin.
Death to Kronos.
Now, one of the highlights of the first iteration of Hades has always been its roster of gods and goddesses, and Hades 2 is no exception. While most of the familiar deities make a return, the game also introduces some new faces to interact with. Additionally, players have access to a diverse arsenal of weapons, each with its own unique playstyle and upgrade path. Mastering these weapons is key to surviving the challenges that lie ahead. Now, let's talk about early access and what the future holds for Hades 2. While the game is already in a polished state and offers plenty of content to enjoy, the developers have outlined their plans for ongoing updates and improvements. With early access expected to last through 2024, players can look forward to new characters, powers, and even a major content update later this year. While the game is already enjoyable in its current state, these future updates promise to add more depth and replayability. So, should you dive into Hades 2 now or wait for the full release? Ultimately, it comes down to personal preference. If you're eager to experience the next chapter of this captivating saga and don't mind the occasional rough edge, Early Access offers a great opportunity to jump in early. However, if you prefer a more polished and complete experience, waiting for the full release might be the right way to go. Regardless of your choice, one thing is certain: Hades 2 is shaping up to be another must-play title from Supergiant Games. So, for those of you out there playing Hades 2, what do you make of it so far? Are you enjoying it as much as I am? For those of you who haven't picked it up yet, are you going to pick it up at some point, or are you going to wait for the full launch of the game? Let me know in the comments below. And subscribe because of video games. Cheers!